This week's funny story is just a clip from the bigger story I'm telling in my documentary on the snowstorms. It's a pretty funny story, and I figured I'd just share it with y'all here. I have always, when it snows, I always just go out looking and driving in it, just completely having fun. But as I go, I look forward to being able to pull people out or go up hard hills or something, because that was what I just live for. I love it. The adrenaline rush or whatever it is, I don't know. But I really enjoy it. And I just naturally did it every year. And I would just go out and play in it. Not really, it wouldn't be my goal to really help people. I would be playing. And if somebody needed help, boy, that's a bonus, because now I get to see if I can pull you out. I would love the challenge of that. But then I took it to the next level. And I had to go back on Facebook and see what year it was. But it was 2011. And we got a really bad snowstorm. I think we had like 2 feet of snow on the ground. And I had a big Ford F-250 four-door 4x4, really good truck, and I bought brand new snow tires right before the storm, and it was like the best snow tires I could buy and stuff. They were big and nasty and meaty, and I had a pallet of tile in the bed of my truck, which is 2,000 pounds, and it's just a solid block of weight. And I just kept it back there. It was extra tile that was going to be thrown in the dumpster, and I was just saving it, and I just happened to have it in my truck at the time, and I was like, well, I'm just going to leave it back there and keep it in the back of the truck. And boy, that made it to where that thing would go anywhere. And I had it strapped down real good and stuff, so it wouldn't slide, because I definitely may or may not have been drifting. No, I definitely was drifting. It was a fun snow for me, because I could just go out and play in it, and all kinds of people needed help in that one. Man, I was staying pretty busy with that. So I went to go check on my mom and was ripping donuts in her driveway, and I look and I see an ambulance coming down the road, and boy, it's drifting sideways, and I can see it. It's just completely drifting, going down the whole road. And I'm like, well, that's different. And I can tell that it's struggling with all it has to just try and make it down the road. It's just barely making it, and just doing everything. Poor driver's doing everything he can to keep her under control. And it's coming at me, and I'm watching it. I'm just watching it, going, okay, this is exciting. And then literally right in front of me, it just drifts all the way sideways and goes right into the ditch. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is different. So I get out of my truck and I go up to the driver, and I'm like, hey, buddy, are you all right? Is everything okay? And he's like, yeah, we had an emergency down the road, and one of my chains broke, and I'm trying to get back to the main road, and my other chain just now broke off right in front of your house right here. And I'm like, oh man, that's terrible. And I was like, do you got somebody in the back? Do we need to take them to the hospital? I'm ready to go. What needs done? And he's like, no, somebody came through in another little Ford Ranger 4-wheel drive, and they were able to take them to the hospital. I think it might have been a police officer or something, but it wasn't like a super emergency, but just enough to where they needed to go to the hospital. But that left him completely stuck, and so he didn't have any chains. He didn't have anything, and this was a big ambulance. This wasn't one of the little ones. This was a big one. And he was like, yeah, I'm completely stuck here. The one chain, once it snapped, I was trying to make it and thought I could make it to the road. And it was about 2 miles from my mom's house there to the end of O Road, where 5 intersected. And 5 had been completely cleared off and was all clear and good to go. He could have made that on it, no problem. But O Road, it was completely full. It hadn't been plowed at all, and it was just still 2 foot of snow. And I think before they went down, I was like one of the only people that even went down it. And so he's like, yeah, I'm just going to wait here for a tow truck. And I'm like, dude, a tow truck is going to take forever. They are so busy. They don't even, dude. And I knew they were coming from, I think, Osage even. And I'm like, you're going to be waiting here forever. That's not a good thing. And he was like, well, that's just the way it is. There's nothing I can do. And I'm like, you know what? I think I could pull you out. And he's like, yeah, right. You ain't pulling this big thing out. This thing's huge, and there's no way you're going to be able to pull it out. And I'm like, well, there's no problem in just trying, is there? And he's like, well, whatever. And he's just laughing at me. He's like, yeah, sure thing, buddy. If you want to try it, you just go right ahead. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's all right. And I'm talking to him, and I get it all strapped up, and I'm like, okay, man. I'm like, here's the deal. If I get you out you don't have any change, so we're going to have to get you all the way to end O Road. And this is just going to happen again. I mean, you didn't even make it hardly at all with one chain. I know with no change, you ain't going to go anywhere. So we're going to have to pull you all the way to O Road. And if I do get you out, I'm just going to keep pulling you for the whole 2 miles all the way to O Road. And at this point, he's just kind of chuckling and he's going, yeah, right, bud. He's like, I know you ain't going to pull me out, so it doesn't even really matter. But sure, if you get me out, go ahead and pull me all the way to the end of O Road, okay? And I'm like, okay, all right, so just be ready because I ain't going to let up and we're going to go and I'm just going to have to pull you and we're going to have to keep momentum to get all the way to the end because once I get momentum, it's all key, you know? And he's like, okay, sure, no problem, man, no problem. And he's just chuckling. I'm like, okay, all right, let's do this. And I pull the strap all nice and tight. I try and pull him and, man, it doesn't go anywhere. I'm like, man, this thing is heavy. I thought for sure I'd be able to pull him out. And so I go back and I get a little run and it budges. And I'm like, oh, all right, it's over now. I was like, I know I can do this. And I went back a little bit more. And I mean, I got just a little bit more of a run, and that was all it took, man. I gave her a little bump and got that thing going, and once it just barely got going, it was enough momentum. And I mean, I just held my foot to the floor and pulled with everything that poor old truck had. And I mean, I ripped it, man, and it pulled it right up out of that ditch, man, and pulled that ambulance up, and we were on the road. And that's when the fun began, because at that point I'm like, man, I have to take him all the way to O Road at the end of this. I was like, me and him are pot committed now. We are buddies and we are tied together, and this is an adventure. Let's go, bro. And at that point, I won't lie, my pride was a little hurt from him laughing at me, and that might have been replaying in my head a little bit because then I was the one laughing. Suddenly, it went from being laughed at to being the laugher. And I'm like, oh, buddy. And, you know, I could see the guy was a driver. I kind of watched him before, you know, and I knew he could drive that thing. So I'm like, oh, let's go, bro. And we're going down the road, and I had to keep momentum, and it's just me and him, whole road to ourselves. And I'm not going real fast. I'm only doing like, you know, 20, 30 miles an hour. But to him, and the ambulance, I mean, he is just slipping all over, and I'm looking in the back in my rearview mirror, and it looks like I'm pulling a skier. I mean, he's just going completely sideways from one side of the road to the other, and just drifting, and he's controlling it like a boss, man. He's doing great, and we're just going down the road, and that thing's just drifting sideways, and we're going, and you can tell that he's not the biggest fan, and he's like trying to flash his lights at me and stuff, and I knew that he had it, and I'm watching, and I'm like, okay, bud, you got this, man. Just have faith. I'm not stopping. And I mean, it really wasn't that far. And, I mean, it wasn't like we were going fast. We're only doing like 20, 30 miles an hour. But like I said, in 2 foot of snow, we're in an ambulance, a big old dually ambulance with no, change or nothing. I mean, it was an adventure. And, yeah, he just, we went all the way down and made our nice little fishtail pass all the way through, and you know, through up the hills I had to really give her, and we made it all the way to the main Highway 5 and we pulled over and got out, and man, he was all white knuckle, and you could tell he was a little stressed, and he was like, oh, we made it, man. And I'm like, yeah, I figured we would make it. And he's like, there ain't no way. There is no way I thought that was any of that was gonna happen. I was like, yeah. I was like, I tried to tell you that we're gonna go all the way, and he's like, I didn't believe you. I didn't think it was gonna happen. And he's like, I kind of wanted to pull over there, and I was like, yeah, I saw that, but I had faith in you. And he's like, well, I'm glad you did. And I'm like, yeah, I was watching you. You had it, bud. And he's like, oh, man, that was freaking crazy. I'm like, you did good, man. That was awesome. I think that was great. And he's like, yeah, that was pretty cool, I guess. And he didn't seem to appreciate it nearly as much as I did. So it was, I was like, all right. And he's like, man, you don't even know. A record company would have charged a lot of money to do that. He's like, you can go by the ambulance station anytime you want. They'll cut you a check and give you a check for pulling us out there. You just charge whatever you want. And I'm like, man, I don't want anything. I was like, that was one of the highlights of my life, man. That was great. Like, that's a story to tell for the rest of my life. Are you kidding me? Like, no, heck no, I ain't charging for that. I live for this stuff. And from that moment, I realized that I live for this stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess instead of just going out and playing with it, there's always going to be people that are needing help and stuff. So why don't I just focus my time on helping people? And that gives me an excuse to go play in it and challenge myself and do all the hard stuff anyway, and I'll be able to help people all at once. And I'll just get two birds stoned at once, and it'll be a great thing. And I could just help people, and it'll be a good time, and I can play in the snow, I can help people, and it just all works out. And so that's what started this whole adventure, and me publicly posting to trying to want to help people in the snow and doing everything I do. That ambulance adventure that I pulled him through a couple miles, it sparked it. And since then, every year it snows, I put it on Facebook that I'll be willing to help anybody. I spend the first 2 to 4 days helping people. I just help out for however long it takes them to clear the main roads and then all the side roads. Even though the main roads are cleared, the side roads, especially around here at the lake, are all hilly and bad, so people are still stranded at their homes and can't get out or get to the doctor or get food or medicine or whatever they need. So that's where I come in, and I offer to take people to the doctor or pick up medicine or food or diapers or just anything. I try to be sure to only focus on necessities, and I don't take any money. I just do it all out of the kindness of my heart because I love it. It's great. It's just something I love doing. And so that's my funny story for the week. Once a week I try to release a funny story from my life to just create a little positivity in this world. And I also release inventions that I created in the hopes to get other inventors to open source and release their energy inventions. I'm trying to just create a little positivity in the world. I appreciate everybody for keeping up and following along. Thanks, guys.